Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We will get started momentarily.
So, Robert, I do not have access to pause that recording. Just letting you know.
Okay. All righty. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today in Small Business Boot Camp for this Tuesday, April 4th. I can't believe we're already in April. As I mentioned every week, time is just flying by, but we're having a good time. So thank you for joining us. I'm Robert Theobald, Small Business Ombudsman and Vice President of Small Business Services here at the Arizona Commerce Authority. And we appreciate you being with us today. We're glad to bring these boot camps to you. And we like to start first by recognizing all of our community partners, all of our presenters that have shared their time, their effort, and their expertise with us on these boot camps. This is just a sample of the many companies that help us out, with over 120 different companies having provided their time to be part of the boot camp. So for those that are new, the Small Business Boot Camp is designed to help small businesses prepare, plan, and grow. It is a statewide initiative supported by all of those community partners. And not only is it our Tuesday morning webinar, it is also a content library and a series of community partner workshops. So for example, with the community partner workshops, we usually do about one a quarter. Our next one isn't until May, about the 21st, 24th, somewhere in that range. We'll have more details soon to come on that. But let's talk about the content library because it is an amazing resource. So all the sessions that we do, all the webinars and many of the workshops, we record those because we do them virtually through Zoom. So we're able to record them and then share them in our content library. So our content library has a collection of about 270 now webinars that you can go back and access and review at any time. We also include the slide decks if the presenter uses a slide deck in that, so you can download that resource. And it's an opportunity to go back and look at different topics that you may have missed or may be interested in learning more about. Also to help you navigate the large number of webinars we have in there, we do have a filter capability through these 7 different topics you see on the screen. So you can click a topic and then view more webinars, and it'll show you just those that are tied to that topic. So you don't have to scroll through a whole bunch of webinars. But it's a great resource. I have no cost to view it. You can find it at the bottom of the bootcamp webpage. Amazing tool. If you have questions on different topics because you can't find them, feel free to reach out to us. We can help you find those as well and send you the direct link for it if needed. The ACA also has a number of other programs that help support small businesses. Our small business services, our workforce, and our Arizona MEP are all great resources for small businesses throughout the state. Another tool we like to talk about that's pretty amazing is our small business checklist. This is an interactive online resource for entrepreneurs to help people starting a business or expanding their business understand the commonly requested licensing, registration, and compliance needs at the local, state, and federal levels. So with that, we want to look at some of our upcoming sessions, and we're going to dive soon into today's session. But first, our upcoming sessions. So we have contracting registrations and then writing a compelling capability statement. These are 2 that are related to government contracting. If you're thinking of doing business with the government, you definitely want to check those out. They're put on by our partners at the Apex Accelerator, which specializes in government contracting. It's a federal program, and we're excited to have them with us. Then on April 18th as well, we have our next Spanish language boot camp. And then on April 25th, we have another marketing and build your professional brand. So we're looking forward to all these upcoming sessions, and we have many more great sessions planned after these as well. So with that, we're going to jump into today's session. And today we have Biz Coach Steve Feld. He's a great friend of the program. He's been on before. He's helped us with the Digital Academy as well. He's also does workshops for SCORE, which is another no-cost business resource program through the federal government. And he's also a very accomplished author and business consultant. So we're excited to have Steve with us today. So Steve, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And Steve had this amazing presentation plan, and he told us this morning that, you know, one of those tech glitches called, you know, your hard drive crashing impact stuff. So he's got an amazing presentation plan, but we're not going to have a slide deck for it today. So Steve, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to you, and I'm gonna close off my screen so you're not distracted by me or my background. But also, if you have questions for Steve, and there's gonna be a lot of Q&A going back and forth, please post those questions in the Q&A at the bottom of the screen. And we're going to use the chat function to do some interaction with our audience. So we don't want to have questions in the chat get lost through that because of that interaction. So questions in the Q&A, comments and responses in the chat. And so with that, Steve, we'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
All right. Well, thank you, Robert. Well, welcome everyone. So we're going to talk about knowing your true target market. And I say, who is your true target market? Because if you really don't know who your true target market is, all your marketing efforts could be wasted. We've all heard people saying, well, this kind of ad, like Facebook ads don't work. Postcards don't work. This doesn't work. The reason is you're spraying and praying. That means you're just sending out your message to everyone and just hoping and praying someone says yes to your offer. That is not the way to market. So I'm going to start off with, put it in the chat. Who do you believe your target market is for your business? Let's see what you guys have. We're coming right out of the gate with it. So go ahead and throw in who your target market is in the chat. And Albert, can you say anything in there yet?
Not yet, Steve.
Chat feature is disabled. That's what they're saying.
Oh.
So, hey, let's fix that. And then we'll use it in the chat. Thanks for letting us know, everyone.
That was a true test right there.
That was the test right there. And while we're getting...
Is it still disabled? I see where I can undisable it. It should be. Well, we will get to that. I'll get it figured out while Steve continues on.
Yep. So we'll come right back to that question. So a little bit about me. Robert kind of gave you an idea. I do presentations for SCORE. Many of the presentations of ABC is starting a business. I also do boot camps, many other workshops as well, all geared to helping small business owners and entrepreneurs grow their business. I have owned and operated 7 businesses myself and turned around 3 others. Excuse me. Written 8 books to date. And I want to get the 8th one out first, and then we'll start on number 9. All the books.
Chat's good. So
chat's good. All right. And all the books I have are geared towards small business owners and entrepreneurs to help you grow your business. So now that we got chat going, so put in the chat, who do you believe is your true target market? Those are your people. That's your tribe. That's your customers. Who do you believe that is? And put it in the chat and not in the Q&A. Okay, electronic manufacturers. Okay. Rochelle, what kind of company do you have? And that's true. It's when people target daycare centers, they make it all cutesy and fun and everything else. Who's actually paying the bill at daycare centers? The parents. Is that what they want? Tutoring centers, perfect. Finding out, Cassandra, great. Mom for tours, yeah. Excellent. All right, target market, professional adults. Okay, Lori, might want to get a little bit. What is your profession or what is your business, Lori? So she put in there target market, professional adults. Pottery studios, okay. We're going to narrow down on that. Women 40, chronic pain, feeling stuck, okay. See how some of them are very specific and some are generalized. So manufacturing industries, it's general. Professional women, pet owners. Yes, I believe they're pets are their kids. Okay. Esri states soccer moms, what's that? Hospitals. Okay, so it's kind of all quite a big range here. And like I mentioned, some of them were very detailed and some of them were very broad and general. So which is better? If you say hospitals, sorry to pick on you, Matt, I'm gonna just choose you because it's right up on my screen. So hospitals could mean many different things. It's what kind of hospital and who are you targeting at the hospital? What is your product service that you're providing that hospital? So when you're looking for your target market, as they say, the niches are, or the riches are in the niches. And a lot of people think, well, I'm going to ignore all these other people. They're not, I can lose all this business. And that's the biggest misnomer about this. When you actually niche down to your target market and you know them really well, which we're going to get into, you actually will increase your business because you're now attractive to that target market. And remember in school, you had the bell curve. So you want to be in that standard deviation, the big part of the curve. Are you going to get the outliners? Yeah. Are you going to sell to them? Of course. But you want the meat of it. You want the basics. When you're broad and general, it's more of a flat line. And no one gets your message. And I'm very happy to say that no one put everybody in as their target market, because that is one of the biggest lies you can tell yourself. And we hear that all the time at workshops like these. So how do you know who your true target market is? And if someone is willing to come off mute and talk and we can work through it, just go ahead and raise your virtual hand and Albert will get you to talk to us and we'll work down on how to find out your true target market. And while we're doing that, one thing I always see too is to find your true target market is who do you like to work with? That's a great key, because if you don't like to work with some people, then don't target them. For example, a coach I know, he refuses to work with any lawyers. And the way he takes lawyers out is if the lawyer calls him or contacts him, he just tells them, I'll refer you to someone else, period. Just won't work with them, but it's not in his marketing, but he attracts lawyers for some weird reason. Cassandra, raise your hand and Albert will take care of you.
So yeah, Michael Schaefer and raise his hand, and then also Robert raise his hand. So I'm going to let both of them in.
Great.
And allowed to talk. And we can
Michael and Robert. All right. So Michael, what is your business?
Yeah, hi there. Thanks, Steve. We have a regulatory testing lab that tests electronics, and I'm hearing a repeat on my voice, so it's a little hard to.
Yeah, Robert, might want to mute yourself, Robert.
Hello.
There's a lot of background noise.
Oh,
There we
okay.
go. I wasn't sure if that was me or
Just
not.
for the moment.
So we do regulatory testing for the Federal Communications Commission. Every electronic device has to have this regulatory testing done to be certified to sell in the US. There are niches that our engineers are very strong, and there are niches that were not so good. And so the niche is important to us. The other thing is important is there's a lot of little guys in this space doing their first product, and we're looking for more mature companies that are doing upwards of $50, $75, $100,000 a year in business, so that we make the financial metrics that we're interested in making.
Great. So how do you find those companies?
We use a product called Zoom Info, and we can drill down into that and get into not maybe the niche granularity, except through the SIC codes and the NAICS codes can help us delve into these niches. And then we look at headcount, annual revenues. We look at their website to detect, well, how many products do they have? If they have a lot of products, they'll probably be making more products. And so we look for a high volume of products to try to isolate those.
Great. And what are the problems that those companies have? Like, it's a problem that they want to get rid of, or they're looking for a solution that they don't have.
Yeah, in general, though, our biggest objection is, well, we already work with a test lab. And so that's a leading objection for us to overcome. But what we are looking for, or where it would make sense to have a backup lab to the lab that you already have, just in case. And so that's an argument that they probably hasn't been made many times to them. And so we use that. Also, most of these companies are very big. I mean, $500 million a year in test labs, and we're a small boutique company. So we can be a lot more responsive. We can pivot a lot faster, and we have very good engineers who can make a difference in their lives, as opposed to a technician can't resolve problems when they have them.
Great. So it sounds like you have a great niche on it. One thing I might recommend is when you're talking to them and they go, well, we already have a test lab. So they're seeing you as two apples.
Yeah.
And that's the time to separate it with a different message.
Excellent.
To separate yourself. So a lot of times people go right to the products and features, and it could be maybe that's their keys. But what you're doing is you're getting so much research on these people. I think you could find that little one hook to get them on over. Whereas you're doing, I think, a phenomenal job of really understanding your market and identifying them and researching them, where you can actually look and go, we notice you have this. So does that one test lab do all of that? Are they always keeping up? Are they meeting your timelines, your deadlines? When was the last time you compared prices even?
Yeah, and those are really good differentiators to drill down on that separation. So I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm really impressed. You really got your target market down, and that's phenomenal, because you know who you want, you go right after them. Believe me, and those industries are word of mouth.
Yeah.
All industries. Do you attend their conventions, their industry trade shows?
Just got back from one where we had the opportunity to speak in a few sessions as subject matter experts.
Excellent. Well, this is for everybody, because that is a phenomenal way of really, once you identify your target market, how to really get entrenched in. I call it the tick method. So it's fantastic.
What's tick stand for?
Tick. It's the critter,
Yeah.
bug.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So a tick gets embedded, and then it's very hard to get rid of.
Our industry is called the tick industry.
Oh, really?
The testing, something, and then compliance. So anyway, that's what I thought. How does he know that?
No, I was like the tick.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Excellent. Well, great job, Michael.
Thank you.
Okay. And Robert, go ahead and unmute yourself. Hello, Robert.
Can you hear me?
Robert, at the bottom
There
of
you
your,
are.
yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're a microelectronics manufacturer, make a device that takes sensor data in raw form and processes it using some analog technologies that allow it to actually not have to go through the digital domain of dicing up the analog signal, putting in memory, retrieving it, and then processing it with some algorithm. We actually process it in its raw form, which makes the fidelity and accuracy superior. And then we hand it off to the digital domain to actually run the algorithms as to what to do about it. So with the proliferation of sensors, for example, automobiles now have, 100 sensors, and all this stuff has to be integrated. It's not just crash avoidance systems, it's crash avoidance with brake data, with engine data, all this stuff combined to make a decision as to whether you activate the braking system. These are complex variables. And right now, a lot of the industry is doing this with pure digital solutions. Our device actually takes the front end problem and does everything in the analog world so that it's far superior data that's ultimately handed off to the digital domain. So our market, as far as we can tell, are the engineers that work at companies like robotics, machine learning systems. It's a fairly broad market, and it's hard to penetrate to find that one individual or group of individuals within those organizations that can get our message and give us an opportunity to tell our story.
So you're going after the engineer that works for a company that uses your services.
Correct.
Okay. Why are you not going after whoever's on the top who makes the decisions on and pays the checks?
Well, typically that individual, to say the chief engineer at the organization, will not be that ingrained in the nuances of what our technology brings. So they're usually generations away, maybe one generation away from actually hands-on design experience. So they basically pass it down to somebody, but it's typically they're busy and they don't have time to listen. So it's not a simple story to get across.
Right. I think that's where it is. So it has to be a simple story that they can understand in their language that relates to their business and how it can improve their business and more efficiently.
Right.
I would say, so now it's the message, because you know who these players are. And you know these industry, or you know these businesses that use your type of services, right?
Right.
So you know that. I would say, excuse me, just change your message on it. So to talk to those CIOs, you got to speak their language. What's in it for them? And a lot of times people come, like we mentioned, features and benefits, they'll throw it to the side because it's not hitting with them. But if you show them, hey, we have this, and here's how to improve your efficiency and increase, they always want an ROI. How do they increase the bottom line? That's what they're after, because they're going to take that message to the, the CEO and go, okay, I think we should hire this company.
Right.
And then the CEO is going to go, why?
Right.
So that person has to do all the talking. So you got to appeal to that individual and then speak how it's going to increase operations. I'd say that's your hook.
Right.
And efficiency and the output. So you have your target market down, who uses your product.
Right.
That's great. I think it's just the message now.
Okay. Got it.
Wow, that's pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah.
I know.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks. Thanks for sharing. And Karen.
Hi there. So I just opened up my cleaning company, and I want to target like all those commercial cleaning. So what would be a good way to do that?
Very competitive market.
Right.
Have you been in that industry before?
I have, yeah.
Oh, okay. So as you know, getting a commercial gig is you have to go to the business owner, right?
Right.
What size companies do you want to clean at?
What size?
Like how many square foot their building is, because I know how it's usually how you guys look at things.
Like
how many
20
offices, those kind of things.
Mm-hmm. Probably like 2,500.
Okay. So you can actually query down. There's ways to search for these kind of businesses. Have you ever used anything from the library before?
No.
Okay. And Robert, I might need your help. I cannot remember. It used to be, I'm blanking out, where you can query. It's free through the library with a library card.
I don't remember the.
I'm
program
blanking the
itself.
name. Crikey.
There is a program that the libraries have that you can do like nationwide queries and.
Right. Yeah, so if you have a library card, you can even do it from home too. So you can
Yeah.
log in and query it. I'm blanking on the program and I use it quite a bit and I refer people to it. But this is where you find these businesses. Now, when you find these businesses, what are you saying to them?
I have like a professional personal message where I introduce myself and I let them know that I'm also licensed and insured, because a lot of competitors like they don't have that. So I try to make it like as best like professional, you know.
Yep. Okay. And thanks, Aaron. Yeah, it used to be called Info USA and it's something else now, but that is it. So thanks, Aaron. And when you're saying that, is that their number one problem? Like when you're talking to a business owner and they want their place cleaned, what is their top problems?
Well, I've heard, because every time I come to businesses and I ask them who cleans their place, they always complain and they say that they can find affordable people that they can trust.
Okay.
And so I think that's their main problem, that they can find someone professional, I guess. And I've been trying. It's just hard to get their attention.
Right. So why I'm bringing that up is if you know their problems, then you provide the solution. So if you said their number one problem is finding people who they could trust and that's affordable, that's what you lead with.
Okay.
We're trustworthy. We show up on time. Here's some reviews, because people will want to see reviews on that level. And here's why we're trustworthy. Here's how we're licensed and bonded. We do background checks on our people, all these kind of things. That's what they want to feel secure about, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to show up and do a job?
Right.
So if that's their problem, highlight that and show them you're the solution to their problem, because you know who you're going after.
Right.
Yeah, starting off talking about you, it's just like all of us. If we come right out of the gate and start talking about us, it's like, okay, when are they going to talk about my problems? What's in it for me? The with them. Always think of that when you're talking to look at your target market. They're always looking at what's in it for me. The me is them. So that's why I say you got to really know who your target market is. What are their problems and how are you solving them? That's what you lead with. And that's how you'll get in the door. Because I swear I get at least 2 emails a week for cleaning services. I don't have an office.
Yeah.
So that's where your target market, that's spraying and praying is what these people are doing.
Okay.
But that's a lot of wasted effort, a lot of wasted time. And postcards, believe it or not, I know we have talked about this in many workshops. Everyone laughs at it. It's still one of the top, most effective ways to get your foot in the door.
Postcards?
Postcards.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have that.
Yeah, double-sided, do an odd shape, 6x9. And that way you can have color on one side, black and white on the other, but it highlights what their problems are, like tired of having inefficient people that don't show up and doing half not doing the job. We'll say it like that. But then you come in with the solution. We provide boom, 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 and find those solutions for them. That's going to get their attention.
Right on. Yeah.
Yeah. So great. You know your target market. Stay at them. Keep going after them.
And also, what was the library page name?
It used to be, Aaron put it in there, and it is right. It's Info USA, but it's called something else. It'll say Info U or something now formerly known as Info USA.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Thank you so much.
You got it. Great. And Cassandra.
Thank you, Steve. I'm not sure what's going on with my settings, but it looks like things are okay now. So I am the co-founder of a nonprofit that's been providing direct relief over the last few years. And then we switched gears as when the pandemic slowed down to doing more sustainable work. The more sustainable work we're working on now is helping build our communities back by launching community centers that have a set of revolving programming to support our entrepreneurs and youth and different things like that. But we raised about $18 million, and we raised this through a GoFundMe. And we've been on a fire drill for the greater part of the last 3 years. And so we haven't really been able to develop out our marketing strategy, and the GoFundMe platform won't give us data to the donors. But what we can see is that the donors are recurring givers. They have been with us for a couple of years, actually. And so we have this incredible brand of trust, which is hard to get. Our work is more relational based instead of transactional. So I've been tasked to find out, like, do the marketing and strategy, building it out. So I'm trying to find out, like, how do I identify the donor profile of those 100,000 folks on our GoFundMe, and how do I extract the data? If you have any pointers on that. And of course, I'm obviously working with a limited budget and capacity. I'm not an expert in marketing myself, so I'm just kind of like Googling everything, trying to figure this out, which is why I'm here today.
Great. So these people found you through GoFundMe, right?
Yeah, we were actually top 5 GoFundMe in all of GoFundMe's history.
So in your profile on GoFundMe, could you give them a link to get them off of GoFundMe and somewhere else?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
People can come over, and we've been trying to do that. Yeah.
Okay. So here's where I'm going with this. Since those people already like, know, and trust you in some way or form, give them a link. The link takes them to what's called a landing page or a squeeze page, depending how you want to look at it. It's just one page. You can give away a guide, a book, something of relative value to them on top of what you're already doing at GoFundMe. But now you make them put in their information, name, email, maybe ask a few simple questions. Don't overcomplicate it, because as you know, the more questions becomes a little invasive, then we bail out. Now you have all that data captured in your database off of GoFundMe. Now you can send out like a monthly newsletter, tell them what you've been working on, where their money is going, and then really drive some more interest and ask them to spread the word. As you get to know them, you can have them get on a call with you. You can do all these kind of things. That's where a drip system comes in. Are you familiar with drip campaigns?
Nope.
Okay. So this will be good for everyone. So the landing page, you give away like a guide. They put in their basic data, and then you set up what's called a drip campaign. You give them an email like, welcome, and here's your guide. And then it's a sequential steps of emails right after that. So now you're building a little bit more trust with every email, and it's all automated. So there's plenty of programs out there, Constant Contact and so forth. What you say in each of those emails is you're adding a little bit more value to them. Here's where your money's going. Show them pictures. Pictures work. I mean, they're phenomenal. And you're in one of those, I want to say, heartfelt industries, right? Versus an ROI industry. People want to feel good that they're giving money and it's going to a good cause. So show them pictures of where their money is going and how it's changing the community and changing people's lives. And really get them. Now you can actually bring them back to GoFundMe or offer them something else. Yep. Great. Thanks, Robert. A good GoFundMe.
So Cassandra, also, I just posted, I just sent it to you there, a specific link from GoFundMe on accessing your charity's data. So they do have a way, if you're a charity, a nonprofit, that you can access some of the information. I don't know all that is in there. I don't know if you were able to find that previously or not, but they do have some ways to access some of that donor data.
Great. This has been really
Excellent.
helpful. Thank you.
And for everyone, Data Axle, thank you for everyone putting that into the chat. Oh, it was going to kill me for the rest of the day. Data Axle, it is phenomenal. This is where you can find, once you know who your target market is, you can actually query, put in all this data, and it really step by step, real super easy, and it spits out all the data for you. Now, if you want their email addresses, you're going to have to pay for that. The library doesn't pay for that part. What I would recommend, since it's giving you the name of the business and sometimes, well, the URL, is you can actually go on those people's websites and get their email addresses. So it's a little bit of work, but it's free. And it's really honing in on your target market. I've used that Info USA, or now Data Axle, many times over, and it has been one of the best resource sites. You just got to really know who your target market is. So who do you like to work with? Knowing who do you really work with and what are their problems and how are you solving them? That's the key to all that. Great. Albert, is there anyone else who would like to hop on in?
Yes, I'm gonna put a few more in. We have Aaron and Sahari.
Okay, great. Well, welcome, Aaron. Go ahead and unmute.
Hello.
Hello. So
So
what is your
I'm
business?
actually still in the formation process of it. I'm working on my business plan right now, but I am going to be offering decorative custom fence paneling, 30 doors, gates, and the like, utilizing laser cutting technology. So just cutting images out on sheet metal, framing it out, and installing it as a fence or whatever I'm going to be, whatever they ask of me.
Oh, okay. So let's break it down to the most basic thing. Customized doors.
And fences, yes.
Okay, there you go. See, so the process, sometimes that's secondary. So now you know
Okay.
what it is that you do. Who buys these?
Well, I've kind of narrowed it down to homeowners and general contractors looking to increase the appeal or the value of a home.
Okay,
or
I'm gonna give
business.
even more niche, because I've had someone in the custom door manufacturing business, and they thought their competitors were Home Depots and Lowe's. And that's the farthest thing from the truth. When someone buys a custom door or fence, what is this? Basically, what is the value of their home to begin with?
Hmm. I'm not sure.
There you go. So that's one thing to let you know, because I already know someone who does this. They thought it was all homeowners, which is not true. If your
Okay.
home is 150,000, are you going to spend, hundreds or even $1,000 on a door? Probably
Likely
not.
not.
Not. But if your home is like 1.1 million, you want a decorative door because
I
it's
can see
the
that.
status.
Okay.
So you need to know what level of homeowner, what is the value of the home. Those are the people that buy the customized doors. So
Okay.
in this one case, he realized he stopped looking at any homes under $1 million valuation.
Ya desayunaste.
Okay.
What he did then, as all his marketing were images on beautiful homes and showing a before and after.
Okay. That makes sense.
And how he started was doing it graphically, because he didn't have all these clients yet. So he would take a picture of the home, take a picture of his door, and put the image on it, like a before and after. And put things like, this could be your home. It increases the value of the home. It increases your status. It gives a talking point when people visit you. So now you really got to hone in on that target market. Who are these people? And it also depends on your designs as well. So this person stayed away from Southwest Designs.
Okay.
Totally different, right? And especially where we
Yeah.
live. That was his uniqueness.
Okay.
So he goes, we don't specialize in Southwest designs. We specialize in ultra modern nouveau style, I think he already called it. And they were very super high end creative. I think the average door they sold was like lowest was $5,000.
Well,
A door.
I don't see myself limiting myself that much here because I've done
Yeah.
I've done some research for the Mojave County area and I haven't seen any other businesses that offer something like this.
Great. So that's where you're going to separate yourself, is show the value to the homeowner by having that customized door or gate,
Right. Okay.
but also know the value of their home, because those are the people who appreciate those things.
Okay.
I just spoke to a business owner. He digs ditches and moves dirt. That's how he talks about his company, because he has big machinery. He goes, we don't work with homes under 800,000, period.
Okay.
He's busier than busy.
Wow.
That's it. So I go, are you a landscaper? He goes, no, the landscapers call us, but we go to the homeowners like, hey, do you need regrading? Do you want to change the way it looks? And they hire us right away, and we have joint venture partners. So that's another thing too that you can also look at, is joint venture partners like contractors, custom home builders, and get in with them, because that's another market for you.
Yes, I was planning to do that.
Great. So yeah, take a look at the home valuations, because the people who will really appreciate what you do,
Okay. I'll do
they'll
that.
get you where someone with $100,000 home won't get you.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You got it, man. Good luck.
All right.
Great. And Sahari.
Hi, Steve. This is Sarah E. with Binational Language Services. I have a language company. I offer interpretation and translation services. And the part that I'm struggling with and why I wanted to take this workshop or this webinar is because I have been struggling a bit with
Oh,
finding the customer. I used to work for these big language companies, and they used to pay me really well. So, but then all of a sudden they were like, you know what, you're too expensive for us and we're not going to be able to afford you. It happened to me with a couple of clients, especially the ones from California that used to keep me super busy. So I was like, what do I need to do? I need to become like them. Who are they working for? Who are the ones that really pay these big amounts of money? Oh, workers' companies, because then they will serve during medical appointments, legal appointments. And when I tried to knock on their doors, they were like, oh no, we're using this company. And these are huge companies, big companies. So I'm just tiny. I'm just a one person owner, and I can localize plenty of interpreters, more than 250 interpreters. I have the platforms where I can offer OPI, over the phone interpretation, video remote interpretation. I have everything. But I don't look like I'm big like them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know what to do now.
Okay. So you know who purchases your services, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now it comes back to like we were talking about earlier. It's your message. How to differentiate you from everyone else. So if you're saying the same thing that these big companies are doing, they're not going to move at all, because they're going to be probably happy with those people. Because from a business perspective, it's kind of a pain in the butt to switch companies that you use a lot. So there has to be a really compelling reason for them to switch. You need to know, what are they failing on? So I would say, look at these big companies that you're in your industry.
Mm-hmm.
Look at their websites, look at the reviews. This is going to be good for everyone.
Oh.
Look at the reviews, find out what people are complaining about.
Okay.
And now that's their problem. And then you have come up with a solution for all those complaints. Just like the cleaning earlier. It's like they want someone who's going to show up and do the dang job.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
So that's what your solution is. We show up, we provide this service, 100% guarantee, whatever it is, show you're different than everyone else and providing a solution to their problems. Because, you know, I've been in companies or consulted with companies that use translation services. And one company is like, listen, this company is always there. They have, you know, 85 languages. We can call them 24/7. We can do this and that. They go, we have no reason to look anywhere else because we can't find anyone who can do what this company does.
I see.
So that's why you need to be showing something different and get them a reason to even look at you.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
Well, good market though, because it is growing.
Believe me, I love what I do. And I think I'm very careful with the people that I pick to work with because it's really hard to create a good.
Yeah, I mean, mistranslating one word, especially you mentioned financial sector, could be a big deal.
Okay, I have never looked into that.
Yeah, I've seen it for financial people, but they vet those translation services quite heavily just because it's a highly regulated industry.
I see.
But there are plenty medical, all these other things. There's lots of opportunity out there.
Yes, I'm aware of it.
Yeah, if medical's the thing, clinics, they're always needing people like you.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They like anytime that I try to go in, I feel like I get the door closed on my face, you know, like, oh no, we're already using this company. Or if I try to find out the person that I'm supposed to talk to about the service, they're like, oh, I don't know, you need to call the corporate. And when I call the corporate, I never get back from anybody. I don't know. I just feel sometimes that I'm going in circles.
And that will happen. I'll be honest with you. This is where you really need to find out who that person is. And if it's a company, who is the actual person typically in those companies that hire someone like you? Is it the HR person? Is it the marketing person? And that's who you want to really go after.
I see. Thank you.
Yeah. And just ask who, you know, you were already been in the industry. You could even ask do a little research. How did they find their customers?
Okay.
Well, good. Good luck.
Thank you.
Great. And hello, Michelle.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Okay. My name is Michelle Hawkins.
And
My
what is your
company
business?
is, what is your business? I teach people how to sell their goods and services internationally. I've been in and out the industry for like 30 years. Everything from writing contracts to exporting and importing myself to doing webinars, workshops. Coming back in, my company is now a year in. The biggest part is finding the companies that are of a level that can go international and showing them that it's not as scary as they think. And so that's where I am in finding a large enough group to make it worth my time.
Okay. Historically, who are we're getting feedback from you. You might want to turn your volume down.
Okay.
So historically, who have been your customers?
Anywhere from people selling, okay, on the export side, folks selling oil and gas equipment to office supplies. So it hasn't been like, okay, like one little field. It's been very broad. Is they had an interest in international and they were like, Michelle, we don't know where to start or how to find who wants our product or our services.
Great. Well, that's a good example. So find one of those. Let's say office supplies who wants to go international. Your marketing and your message has to be geared towards them. And I don't know if we can mute you when I'm talking because we're getting such a bad feedback.
Oh, really?
Real bad. Yeah.
Maybe I should turn this off.
Let's see. There you go. Good. No,
Is that better?
nope, it's right back.
If I can jump in, Steve, maybe, Michelle, if you mute yourself while Steve talks,
Okay.
that might help. And then when you want to respond, unmute yourself.
So I'd say find one of those industries that was historically good for you. Who was it? I'm gonna just take office supplies because you mentioned it. Go after them and start targeting office supply manufacturers who are interested in going international, but pose it from their point of view, not your point of view. So it's like, why do they want to go international? What's in it for them to export? Obviously increase sales, but they don't know where to start. So that's where your hook is. You might pose it with questions because I've seen companies not doing the import export, but it could be posing questions. Ever thought about taking your company internet selling overseas? Wondering where to start? Come to our workshop and we'll give you the details. You said you did workshops, attract them into the workshops and you give them enough information so they need to get a hold of you to actually purchase your services. And you could do it for like saying, okay, if you're in the office manufacturing, if you want to segment it, or if you want to be a little bit more general. Now, were these companies, did they have a particular size when they were working with you? Like, did they gross so many dollars? You'll have to unmute to respond.
I would say anywhere from like a $300,000 company, which I was surprised at that, to several million.
Okay. So even move up the cap, a half a million plus.
Okay.
So this workshop might be for you if you're looking to export overseas and your company is $500,000 or above. So you're going to weed out the people who probably are not ready for you yet, which is fine. You're going to get some of those between that 300 and 500, but you're going to start attracting, but you have to get the message to those people who are ready for it. And how do you find ready for it? You can give away a guide. I'm sure you probably can give away something like a 10-step guide. Have you ever thought about exporting? And you can give away this guide, capture their information, and then draw them into a workshop. Similar to what I was talking about, a drip campaign earlier. Because how are they getting your information to make that decision to say yes? You're gonna have to unmute, Michelle.
Okay, so it's better for me to kind of focus on one industry?
You could start with one, but do you want to hit a whole bunch at once?
Yeah. I kind of think that I like the drip campaign, and that would let them come in and they would have more of an interest than just targeting one industry.
You can
Do
make
the
it
drip
broad.
campaign and let them come to me.
Make it broad, but you have to get them, you have to get in front of them somehow to get them into your drip campaign to take advantage of your guide. So where do these businesses hang out? What do they look at?
Yeah, I'm an elder. I've been in so many different groups. Like I've been a NABO member, Scottsdale Leadership, all these things. So I can go through those in a lot of women's groups of women who have really good companies. Some of them have said, you know, you keep saying you're international, and I know you did all these things and you used to work for Detroit City Council doing this and blah, blah, blah. When you gonna do something? So I've started putting the information out there on my Facebook page and on my LinkedIn, because to me, those are where my two markets will most likely be found. And so I'll take the drip campaign and start putting it into the groups as well.
Yeah. So you got to get them into your drip somehow. So give away a guide, some kind of info, something that they say yes to, that they're going to give up their name and email address. And it sounds like we're talking about women's groups. Why not women manufacturers?
Well, I hadn't thought about that.
Women-owned manufacturers. I mean, you were telling me your niche right there. Talk about really niching down and attending maybe trade events. I mean, there's a conference for everything nowadays. There's an industry association for everything nowadays. Get into those, get active on those, get on those Facebook pages, start interacting, the LinkedIn pages, all those kind of things. Start interacting with these people and get your name out there. I know it's grassroots marketing and it's free. All this is free, I'm telling you.
I know my best can. I do not like doing ads at all.
But yeah, I would say start getting engaged in these groups, answering questions, providing value, giving away the ideas, because are they really going to implement those ideas? Let's be real. We all get a lot of information.
We do. We get overload.
Exactly.
So,
but if I could hire you to do all that, wouldn't that be better?
I already have I'm doing an ebook now for terms and laws that govern you doing international, you exporting, because our government has such a push on exporting that I'm kind of focusing people on that more than importing. So I've almost got that finished, and I think that'll start as my drip.
Yeah. So give away the guide, like just a tip, like what the headline is, and even a paragraph, and then just do that, and then direct them to give away that. You can sell their book, you can get them into the drip campaign, get them into workshops. But there you go, repurpose your own content and don't make it hard for yourself.
Got it. Thank you.
You got it. Well, good luck. And Robert.
Perfect timing. Great way to wrap up. Thank you, Michelle, for those last few questions. We appreciate you being on with us. And so with that, Steve, thank you for offering up those questions and doing some personalized one-on-one. And it's always great for people to hear how other businesses are doing, because you can apply it to yourself. So
exactly.
Thank you. And thanks for all the participants for asking questions and participating. It makes it better for everyone. So we appreciate that. And again, we are right at time. So again, to wrap up, thanks, Steve, for your time. We hope to see everybody next Tuesday morning for our next boot camp session. And until then, everybody have a great week, and we will see you soon. Thank you.
Thanks. Have a great day. Thanks, Robert and Albert.
You, Steve.